Say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight for the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets regular, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave for the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Welcome to Homeland Heroes Salute podcast with your hosts Doug Macedo and Jim Roberg.
Welcome everybody. Welcome to another episode. So we've got a very special guest with us again today. It is Darriel Swatts. He is the team lead for Team New England of the New England the Fallen Outdoors. That's where the NAS doors, which covers all of Connecticut, Mass, Rhode Island, New Hampshire, Vermont, as well as Maine.
There you go. Yep.
So we've had him actually on. We've had you on the podcast probably almost a year ago or so. It's been some time, and we're going to I'm going to turn it over to you and have you just give us a little brief synopsis of who you are and your background and stuff.
Yeah, definitely. One, I want to say thanks for having me back on. Last time it was almost a year ago to the date. The Fallen Outdoors, we're an all veterans nonprofit. We host therapeutic and healing outdoor activities for veterans, those still serving active duty Guard reserves, and also Gold Star families. Outdoor activities range the whole gambit, from ball games to fishing trips, hunting trips, you name it. And it's all done with the primary purpose of getting veterans reconnected with each other, to make an impact on the 22 a day suicide rate that unfortunately the veteran community faces. But we try to make our big of an impact as we can on that number, because if we can decrease it by 1, 2, whatever, we're doing what we meant to do.
Absolutely.
But yeah, it's all about reconnecting everybody together and getting out and having fun. As you and I both know, we kind of speak our own language. And how I would talk with a coworker or my neighbor is very different to how you and I would communicate.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
So just trying to break down those walls, get across those barriers, and get like with like and go have fun doing so.
Absolutely. So as you were mentioning, a refresher to it is that the Fallen Outdoors, they pretty much cover quite a bit, a lot of stuff is, as you were mentioning, which is fishing. You guys do, I think there's, some of you guys do, fly fishing. And then you guys also do, deep sea fishing, which is usually out of that they leave out of I think it's Connecticut, Rhode Island, and New Hampshire.
Yep.
We
we actually just ran a trip. We got just over 50 veterans out on the water, deep sea fishing out of New Hampshire.
Yes.
We partnered with another veterans nonprofit, the Honor Bear Project, and through working together, we're able to get on a good group of vets and had an awesome day on the water. Unfortunately, I was working, so one of my staffers was taking care of that trip, but I've been on it in the past, and it's always a good time.
Oh, absolutely. I haven't. I signed up, I think, once for the fishing, but I was not able to attend. But I did sign up for I believe it was not that long, just short, maybe a couple weeks ago. It was to the Boston Red Sox. It was an afternoon game, I believe Wednesday game, and which was actually a really amazing time. Met a bunch of quite a few different amazing veterans from all walks of life. Different branches, different eras, which was really good. And we also had our kids with us, which was another good thing that you guys do is you guys also include the family and friends and stuff like that on these events, some of these events and stuff, which is absolutely amazing. You guys also do. I can't remember. Do you guys do skeet shooting?
Yeah, we actually just recently ran a 5-stand.
Okay.
Where the club donated a couple rounds. I think we got 3 or 4 veterans out.
Yeah.
For a 5-stand shoot, no cost other than bring your own ammo and shotgun. But yeah, just went out and busted some clays and had some fun, had some good conversations.
Absolutely, and that's what it's about, is getting breaking down those walls and getting the veterans out to be able to socialize and to literally show those veterans there's more things to do with other veterans to get them out and about and be able to socialize and break down those walls and the barriers.
Yeah, and you never know. Like personally, I've never really been big into competition shooting or just going out for that until I'd say more recently, because cost of ammunition and stuff like that. It's always kind of like a hindrance. Like, oh well, I don't know. But to have an opportunity to go out and participate in it for basically nothing, outside of, like I said, bring your own ammo for that particular trip, got to go out. Shot, had a great time, and who knows, maybe they found a new hobby. Maybe they found a new outlet, something that they hadn't considered before.
Yeah.
And then they can build a friendship, build a network in there, and have something fun, something new to do.
Oh, absolutely. And it's what it's about. And you guys, a lot of the trips you guys do is not just for like an hour or two or whatnot. Sometimes it's for a couple hours, which I know you guys have an upcoming event here in the month of June, which is June 19th, and you guys have 40 slots available on a chartered deep sea fishing leaving out of Hampton, New Hampshire, which that it fills up quick. But definitely tell everybody to get themselves put in there, because again, all they got to do is locate you guys off of on different social media platforms, which one is the Facebook page. And
so we run all of our trips pretty much exclusively on Facebook.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, if you're not on Facebook and say your significant other is, they can join on your behalf. Especially for us here on the East Coast, it's the East Coast, the Fallen Outdoors East Coast All Veterans page.
Yeah.
There's a couple questions you have to answer just to verify your veteran status, but you can come on in. And like as I said, if you don't have an account, but your significant other does, they can join on your behalf and enter in for trips.
Yeah.
But all of our trips are free,
Yeah.
to include the one coming up out of New Hampshire, where it's take your kid or take your grandkid fishing.
Yeah.
So I know I'm going to be hosting that trip with with two of my other staffers.
Yeah.
And so I know my son, he's already bouncing off the walls, excited for it.
No.
And all of our trips are free. And as far as we're concerned, if you are serving your country or have served your country, or your family's made the ultimate sacrifice for our country, you've already paid your admission ticket. So if you see a trip, regardless of what state it is, if you can make it and you're interested, put in for it.
Oh, absolutely, and that's the key thing is, it's just put in for it. It usually you guys have like a slogan that you guys have to put in there, but it just pretty much like the one here and coming up in June on the 19th. It's what is it? Thin tight line, and then you just put the number of people who want to go with you. So if it's tight line and there's 4 of you, put tight line 4, or whatever it goes with. Just put that down.
Yep, and like with that trip, we have 40 spots available. Yeah, and of course, not everybody's entering with the same amount of with kids or grandkids. Correct. So we'll use a random name generator, or we'll assign numbers if we get a lot of entries. We'll assign numbers to every entry, use a random number generator, and then who gets picked gets picked. It just keeps it fair for everybody. Yeah. But for like this particular one, like say one person puts in they got 5 kids. Yeah. That they're gonna bring. Cool. That's 6 slots. So 6 out of that, and continue doing that until we start getting smaller availabilities, and then weed out some of the larger entries and keep those that fall within that. And like I said, just keep using the random number generator. So no favorites ever get paid, and it just keeps it fair for everybody.
Oh, absolutely, and that's always the positive to that is if you don't get picked for this one, you're more likely if you put in for the next one, you'll probably get picked on for that next one, and because that's what I've always have learned from you guys is, it's just that's how you guys do it, and it makes it fair and even for everybody, so it's an even playing field. Nobody's a favorite on there, Now, I know you guys also have coming up, which I don't know when that is being put out there, but you guys also do, target practice, shooting for like bows and stuff like that, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, we've done a couple different archery shoots where we'll partner with some club somewhere in New England. Yeah. And they'll give a couple spots. You come out and shoot their range for whatever event they have going at no cost. Yeah. But one thing we also like to do, we partnered with Catamount Bow Hunters over in Vermont, in Bennington. And we do a big benefit archery shoot where we have raffles, there's food available, prizes for top shots in different categories. So it's a big fundraiser that we do. And that's coming up in July.
Well, that's pretty neat. That's pretty awesome that you guys have that going for you as well.
Yeah, and so like I always tell a couple of our sponsors is all of our trips are, like I said before, 100% free for our veteran community, but doesn't necessarily mean it's always free for us to host it. Yeah. So we use these fundraisers to help generate those funds to make these trips happen. But even if we really tank on fundraising or whatever else, I mean, a lot of trips that we do are like homegrown trips where, hey, I got an extra spot in the duck blind. Who wants to go? Yeah. Hey, I'm going fishing with a buddy of mine. He wants to take out two vets. Yeah. Who wants to go? At the end of the day, it's about getting veterans out, off the couch, out of the house, out of their own mind, and out doing something, something fun.
Absolutely. That's what it's about again. It's about bridging that stuff and be able to, if someone's always looking for another, buddy to go out and go fishing, it's nice that people offer that and say, hey, you got two veterans, send them this way. You got three veterans, send them this way for this. Because that's always, again, it's about helping one another out, and helping the veterans out, because that's what our bottom line of what our mission is to be able to help these veterans out, and to be able to tear down those barriers. You guys also do, I know I've seen you guys do duck hunting as well, correct?
Hmm.
Yep.
Yep, we
um,
have quite a few waterfowlers on Team New England, to include myself.
yep.
Uh, like one trip that I absolutely love to do is where we take a group of veterans out to Oklahoma for a multiple day waterfowl hunt, fully guided. So all that veteran has to do is, like I said, enter, you get picked, and it's a Team New England specific trip. So it's New England veterans, but we also partner with Team Virginia, where they send one veteran
Yep.
as well. But we go out, lodging's taken care of. Right? You're shooting your meals in the morning and the afternoon, uh, and it's just hang out by the campfire. Just at the end of the day, after a good shoot, it's just there's really nothing better than those conversations.
Oh,
And
absolutely.
it's just it's awesome. I don't have the words to describe it. It's like one of my favorite things. But we've also partnered with a lot of local guides throughout New England, where if you're not able to make it out there, because we don't pay for the travel and you have to
Yeah.
make it out yourself. But we have the local trips with local guides, and hunting in New England's tough sometimes, especially waterfowling. And going out with them, they know their area, they have their leases, and they help put young, really quality bird.
Yeah.
But it's even then, you can have a field that's loaded with birds one day, you go hunt it the next, and you don't see a single one. And it's just the nature of it. But I hate to say it, I kind of like those trips because you have nothing better to do than talk and BS, laugh and joke in the blind, and it's still at the end of the day an awesome day.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, just be able to, still just to be able to go out with fellow veterans and be able to, talk, probably quietly, but, be able to somewhat little talk. Um, but if not, it's like still you're out there keeping an eye out, trying to hopefully catch a bird. But if not, go back.
That'd be difficult to catch a bird. No,
Well, yeah. Well, yeah.
but
It's almost like
no,
duck hunt.
but no, that's one thing I love about waterfowling is that you don't have to be quiet. And like if the birds aren't working and they're not around, you can have a full volume conversation, laugh and joke.
Yeah.
It's just as soon as they start coming in, then it's silence.
Yeah.
Keep your head down. But until that moment when the birds start moving,
Yeah.
and it's one reason I'd love to take my son out now, because that kid's a chatterbox, and he knows now that when the birds are moving, be
Yeah.
quiet. But until then, he's bouncing around, laughing, having a great time. So it's a great activity I love to share with him, but it's also I love to share it blind with a fellow veteran as well.
Oh, absolutely. And I mean, again, it's if you don't shoot a bird, then at that point, well, depending on what type of bird shooting, but we're not talking about the middle finger bird. But while you're out there, it's if you're not shooting one, then chit chatting there as well. I mean, you're at least going back to a campfire and be able to, probably throw back a beer or two, whatnot, and be able to have a conversation over that as well. Um, that's always another positive, and just having that interaction with the fellow veterans, it's you're tearing down those barriers, and you're able to communicate with one another in a way that you both know how to communicate.
Yeah.
You know, because again, like you even said yourself, it's like when you talk to your neighbors or, you know, co-workers, it's one way of talking, but when you talk to a fellow veteran, it's a whole different ball game on talking.
Yes.
And the kind of conversations you can have and how you have them and whatnot. It's definitely different, and it's kind of sometimes it's refreshing to have those talks.
Yeah, and that's one thing I like about TFO is we're staffed 100% by veterans.
Yeah.
So it's always veterans helping veterans.
Yeah.
But one thing I try to explain it to, I explain it to my wife or I explain it to a coworker about it is, like, as a combat vet myself, it's, I can tell you about what happened,
Mm-hmm.
but you're not going to be able to relate. You can feel empathy, you can feel sympathy.
Yeah.
It's not the same as, hey, I know what that's like. I too have been blown up. I too have been shot at. Unfortunately, not me personally, but other conversations like, yes, I know what it's like to feel that loss.
Yeah.
When you lose a brother or sister. It's just,
Yeah.
the ability to relate is a whole different conversation, a whole different level of a stress decrease than
Yeah.
it is just to be like, oh, I'm so sorry to hear about that. Like, if there's anything you ever need, let me know, type thing. It's just like, yeah, that conversation kind of gets old. Like,
Yeah.
I appreciate it. I know you could come from a good place, but
You know,
thanks.
yeah, it's like, yeah, I appreciate it, thank you, but yeah, we're probably not going to have that conversation.
No.
You know, and it's not a jab at them at all. It's just that, unfortunately, the conversations to have like that are going to be with fellow veterans, because a fellow veteran is going to know pretty much what you went through, how you went through it, you know, whatnot. They're the best ones to have that conversation with.
Yeah, and it might not be the exact same set of circumstances,
Yeah.
but similar enough that that conversation, that healing, that de-stressing can happen.
Yeah. Nope.
And that's why my father-in-law and I get along so well.
Yeah.
You want to talk about small worlds. I was a combat cameraman for the Army. He was a combat cameraman in the Marine Corps. We had no clue about each other until he and I actually started talking. And it was like, holy shit. And yeah, we'll go on family camping trips, stuff like that. And yeah, it's always a great time.
Yeah.
But he and I will go out camping and go to a lodge, stuff like that. And our conversations and our sense of humor isn't quite set for the spouses.
Oh no, absolutely. I mean, I know exactly what you mean, because again, my between me and my grandfather, we were both, you know, we were both drivers. We were both, you know, as truck drivers, but we both were drivers for, you know, high-ranking officers. You know, he was just in a different era than I was. You know, my father-in-law, you know, he was a combat medic, different era time, during during Korean War, but we both were stationed in South Korea, literally, just two different camps. Instead of, you know, him being at Camp Casey, he was at another camp that's no longer there, but he also has visited the DMZ. So, which again, it's like, okay, you know, we have that kind of built kind of relationship. So it's like we both know quite a bit about each other on different levels.
Yeah.
So totally get it, and that's, again, that's where it's the relating to one another, to one veteran to another. It's different than it is from one veteran to a civilian.
Yeah.
It's no, like I said, it's no jab or anything, but it's who knows best to talk to and communicate with is, with a veteran is another fellow veteran. That's who who we can count on, who we should be able to count on and be able to count on, to be able to have that connection with one another. So,
yep. And we understand the importance of a buddy check.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I just did one just a little bit ago. Speaking of buddy check, just had to reach out to someone because I haven't heard from you, and with the group, with you guys, with the Fallen Outdoors, how often do you guys usually, if you have veterans that you don't hear from a little bit of time, do you guys usually follow up with one another as well?
Yeah, definitely. There's been quite a few instances where, I'll see a name pop up or we've gone on a couple trips together, and you get to know them, and they say, it starts to kind of disappear for a little while. And it's just okay, just touch base, hey, how's it going, man? Haven't seen you put in for any trips. Haven't seen you in a while, and every now and then it'll lead to those conversations. It's all right, well, you know what are you doing tomorrow?
Yeah.
Because I'm taking the day off, and you and I are going to go hit the water.
Yeah.
So, and it's an unofficial trip, I guess you can call it.
Yeah.
But we're family. We have each other's backs.
Yeah.
And one thing I absolutely love on the page, is if someone reaches out hey, I need help.
Mm-hmm.
The whole community, the whole veteran community, I think we're over 20,000 strong just on the East Coast page, just rallies immediately. Where you at?
Yeah.
I'm in XYZ town in the middle of nowhere, South Carolina.
Yeah.
Hey, I live the next town over. Hey, I live 3 miles over. We're coming. We got your back. We got your six. We are here for you. And it's just watching that beehive of activities. If there's someone in need, we're there for each other. And I absolutely love to see that. And yeah, we always are paying attention to all these different aspects. So
yeah,
and we're not spending a laundry list of every single person and systematically running through and calling every person. We're not going to be telemarketers. We're not going to be spam on you. But if we notice that you start to disappear, something a little odd, someone's going to reach out.
Yeah.
So
it's you usually, I totally get where you're going with it, because I've seen it a couple times. Again, it's it's even people just make a post and say, hey, I need to talk, and this is what it happens. I've seen it, and it's a great community that you guys have, and you guys have built on, and you guys are one of of so little groups that you guys have. I've yet to see, really, and I could be just me. Sometimes I may not pay attention, but I haven't seen any spam people, making any comments in your guys' group either, which is really good.
No, so that's we're the moderators. So all the moderators are team leads on the East Coast. So we are a nationwide nonprofit. We're in 42 states across the country.
Yeah.
Which is its own awesomeness, because I've had guys come out from Washington and all other places they've been stationed. They come out to the East Coast and they're like, hey, just got out here, what's going on? And then that family network's there waiting for them. But as far as it's a private page,
Yeah.
not anybody can join. And like one thing I always tell people, like if you were going to join the page for the first time, answer the questions.
Yeah.
What branch, what years? They're real simple questions. And like I'll log in sometimes and there'd be like 200 new member requests. It's like, oh, okay. And you go through, 2 have actually answered the questions.
Yeah.
We'll quick vet on them. Good to go. Admission to the page. Deny everybody else.
Yeah.
But as far as posting, not just anybody can post,
Yeah.
but every post is up for approval.
Correct.
One of the moderators will, one of us will look at it and be like, okay, yeah, this falls within community guidelines.
Yeah.
And whatever else, it's like, okay, cool, let it go. But one thing that I like to see as well is it's not just teams posting trips on the page, but just fellow vets. And this is like the community aspect I absolutely love. One thing that really drew me to it is like, hey, I'm taking the boat out on the water on, say, Lake Memphremagog up in freaking Nowheresville up on the Canadian border in Vermont.
Yeah.
We're going for Lakers. Got 1 spot on the boat. Who wants to go? I do.
Yeah.